basically eternal ayus, a very elongated life. Sukha priti vival, contentment and satisfaction. Rasya snigdha, juicy and succulent. Stira hridya, ahara, satvika priti. So typically what falls into this category is fruits. Yes, fruits and very mildly cooked vegetables, mildly cooked rice and all those things come under sattva. Sattvam lavana ati ushna tikshna rukshna vidahina ahara rajasa seshta dukha shoka amaya prada. So what? Extremely sour, bitter, too much taste, excessive taste in it. It's a salty, a sour, or bitter, or even too much sweet falls under rajas then. Amaya it causes dukkha, pain, shoka, grief, and amaya disease it will give to you. Yatayamam gatarasam. I'm just doing a revision, huh? So that's why I'm going fast, yeah. Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayata uchishtam api cha amedhyam bhojanam tamasapriya. Yatayamam gone. It's like yata has to travel. Basically, what it means is it's a metaphor to say that it's gone away, it's stale. It's already old food, like aged cheese and all. Supposed to be a delicacy. It's a tamasic food. Hmm? Gata rasam, it is tasteless. Like you look at some things, they're tasteless. Hmm? Puti, putrid. Paryushitam chayat. It's also polluted with very sad things, sad emotions, anxiety, fear. Like for example, food which is got by killing animals. That is already paryushitam. It is polluted with emotions which are very negative. Chayat uchishtam, a leftover thrown off. Apicha amedhyam. It cannot be easily digested. Meat is not digested in the human body for 48 hours. So it accumulates in the large intestine and makes a person deceased. So this is amedhyam. So we can classify the food by looking at this. Bhojanam tamas. So tamasic kind of people will like this kind of food. The nature is impure. Then Lord says, Afalakankshibhir yajna vididrishto yajyate yashtavyame veti mana samadhaya sasatvike. So now his Lord is talking about yajna. Yajna is a kind of worship. Whether you do it with fire or whether you do it in your spinal cord by practicing kriya. Even a kriya can be classified into sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Mind is wandering here and there. Doing kriya, it's rajasic kriya. You get that kind of result. Your mind is very calm, practicing very focusedly on God, dedicating it to God, it's sattvic kriya. Yajna. So then the mind is not there at all. You're not interested to do kriya, just forcibly doing the kriya. That will be a tamasic kriya. So, so like Apalak Akankshi, you're not expecting anything when you do a worship. You're saying, I love you, Lord. You're worshipping for the whole world. Vidi Drishta, according to Vidhi, Vidhi is what I was prescribed. Ya ejyate, when you perform something, it's correctly done kriya. Ashtavya meveti manaham. When the mind also has been offered there. So mentally also you're one with that yajna. Samadhaya sa satvika. So this is a very powerful satvika kind of yajna. Abhisandayatu phalam, which you're looking only for the phala. Dambartamapi cha evayat. So you're doing it also to show off to people. Ijjate bharata shrestha tam yajnam vidhi rajasam. When you do such worship, it is rajasic. Vidhihinam, asrishtannam, mantrahinam, adakshinam, no dakshina is given, there's no mantra chanted, no knowledge of mantras, nothing is given. Asrishta annam, nothing is fed, everything is given grudgingly. Oh, I should pay that person so much money, I have to do this. Why should I do this? I'm wasting it. Money, what is the use? Full of doubt. Shraddha virahitam, so full of doubts. No shraddha. There are people who do that like that also. Yajna tamasam parichakshate. That's tamasic yajna. It will bring its results as it is. That is why Lord says throughout, karma is according to the intention of the mind and not according to the action. When the entire creation has a fabric of karmic law which flows through it. Nobody can escape the karma, law of karma. But the law of karma is not on the physical actions, but on the thought process, the intentions. That is what Lord Krishna's message is through and through the Gita. So when Sattva Rajas Tamas is at the level to kill the mosquito, Param Guruji says, go ahead, kill it. You've already killed it because in your mind you have killed it. So action happens in the mind first and then in the body. So whether it is yajna, kriya, whatever you're doing, first the mind it happens and then only it happens in the body. Then, so now that yajna has been explained, worship. Or tapas. What is the difference between tapas and yajna? In tapa, you basically are going to make an effort which is a little harder. Why? Because this tapna means heating up. So whatever you're doing as a struggle for God, God observes it. He sees it. It is imprinted in your Akashic records. Akashic records are every minute getting imprinted, right? So it's imprinted. The Lord sees it. So that is tapa. Whether you done it manasika or sharirika or where, however, causally, of course, we can't do causal karma unless, we are at a very high level, of siddha level. But astrally and causally we can create, right? The tapas we can do. Suppose japa yoga, for example, is what? Is an astral tapas. So constantly superconscious chanting, for example, constantly you're doing in the mind, Brahma, Brahma, God, God, Guruji, Guruji. Devan Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. Devas, whichever deva it is, bowing down. Dvija, the twice born. People who have taken Diksha, who are trying to purify themselves, who are purified. These are Dvijas. Guru Prajna. Guru, of course, the Gurus. Prajna is intelligent people, wise people. Pujanam, these are worshipable people, not the moneyed people. What's the world? They will bow down to anybody who has money. Too much money, you'll bow down. But what are Manusmriti and all the Shastras say? It's not the money you worship. You worship a Deva, Dvija, Guru, and Prajna. And this is how ancient India was. Shaucha Marjava. Mind and body, keeping it clean. Arjavam, straightforward. Whatever is the mind has to come through the mouth. Arjavam. Same thing. You should not think something and do. You look very beautiful. Mentally, I'm saying, oh my God, I just don't like that dress she's wearing. That's totally wrong. That becomes a very bad karma. Brahmacharyam, ahimsam cha. Always trying to move towards God and practicing ahimsa, not hurting any being. Brahmacharya, ahimsam cha. That is what? Ahimsa is not hurting anything. Shariram tapochyate. That is doing tapas through the sharira, body. Then now Lord will explain tapas of the mind. Anudvegakaram vakyam. Udvega is creating restlessness. Anudvegakaram vakyam. Satyam priyahitam jayat. Speaking truth and for the welfare of others. Jayat. So adhyaya abhyasanam. Whenever you have free time, study about God. Don't spend time wasteful. Study about God. Chayeva vangmayam tapa uchyate. God is observing. This is how money comes. This is how success comes. The Gita tells us the secrets of the universe. These are the spiritual laws. Guruji says, no, there are some secretive laws in this world. We run behind money, we run behind things. It never comes, it runs further. But when we do this, what the Gita is doing, success, money, wealth, everything that we consider will come naturally. We are slaves. So, like this, you purify your speech. That is your tapas of the speech. Speech, speaking truth, loving others, being welfare, talking for welfare, praying for others, and worshipping God in free time. Okay, Vangmayam means speech. Manaprasada Saumyatvam, keeping the mind calm and content. Saumyatvam, humble and sweet. Maunam Atma Vinigraha, keeping silence whenever possible. Atma Vinigraha, self-control, controlling oneself, not constantly is pleasure seeking activity. Bhava samshuddhi rityet etat tapomanasam uchyate. keeping the bhava clean, bhava samshuddhi. Okay, bhava can be emotion also, your personality. It can be translated as what you're thinking also, bhava samshuddhi. This is keeping the mind pure. These are all God is observing. If our mind is pure, speech is pure, body is pure, bodily activities is pure. Ahimsa and all is a bodily activity. Yeah, like that. So tapas, Lord is saying, Lord is explaining. Then Lord will talk about Shraddha, the faith that we have. Shraddhaya paraya taptam, tapastat trividam naraihe, afalakankshibiryuktaihe, satvikam parichakshate. Shraddha also, the faith that we keep. Paraya, on the Param Brahman, on the transcendental Param. Taptam, when we practice it. Tapaha, that kind of is struggling for Brahma. Tat Trividam Naraihe. There are three types amongst the humans also. Afala Akangshihi. Not expecting anything from Brahma, just Brahma, like a Jnani, like a Bhakta. Just loving God for the sake of Him, without expecting any phala. Yuktaihi. Definitely Yukta, united, in a united manner, seeking God. Satvikam Parichakshate. It is called Satvika activity. Satvika faith. Now, what is Rajasic faith? The Lord says, Satkara Mana Pujartam Tapo Dambena Chaivayat Kriyate Tad Iha. In this world, Proktam, it's said to be Rajasam Chalam Adhruvam. So Adhruvam, Dhruva is something which is constant. Adhruvam is which is not constant. Results of faith, which is Rajasi, is not constant. Chalam is it keeps coming and going. So money comes and goes, success comes and goes for such people. What is this? Satkara Mana Puja Artham. Okay. To gain respect of other people, get mana, honor. And you do puja, pujartham. Tapa dambena cha evayat. But out of damba, showing off, we do yat kriyate tat iha. Whenever you do such things in this world, it is a kind of a faith which is not just flickering and will not get results which are constant. So we know that we go to temple, we'll just say, "Oh Lord, Lord," and show off to everyone. Oh, I'm wearing a very good dress. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I'm giving so much money. Like how Jesus Christ, Lord Christ, said that the two mites of the widow. We know that story. Guru just told us. That is even more than giving lakhs and thousands of rupees. Then Lord says, mood, even the mind is important. When we give that donation or whatever, we should surrender and say, Lord, it is your money. Under what circumstance can we even think that it is our money? It's all his. And he doesn't need anything. He just uses you as an instrument to give himself or his work money. So that kind of thought should come. Okay. So then it becomes sattvic. Moodagrahena atmano yat pidaya kriyate tapaha. Moodaha is very foolish, doesn't have knowledge or intelligence. Grahena atmanayat pidaya kriyatita. Torturing oneself and torturing others, like Ravana and all, is to cut off his head, right? He wanted to cut off, to please Lord Shiva, will cut off. Rakshasas will hurt themselves. They will pierce that thing through the mouth. All that is pidaya kriyate, troubling oneself. Tapa paraya parasya utsadhanartham. Parasyotsadhanartham. Also, others also you'll hurt when you're doing such kind of worship. Tat tamasam udahritam. Parasyotsadhanartham tat tamasam Tamasic shraddha is where you hurt yourself, hurt others, you yourself are in delusion. You are creating delusion for all around yourself. You're teaching wrong things. That is tamasic tapa. And you'll get such results only. Hardly any results, meager results. Okay. The Lord then says, Datavyamiti yaddanam diyate anupakarini. Deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam. 20, 21, 22 are describing dana, how to give charity. This is a very beautiful shloka. Lord says here, Datavyam. You have to give charity. Every day you have to give some money, food to others, for animals or beings and everything. Iti yat danam. Diyate anupakarine. When you know that person can't return it, anupakarine. He can't return in that money to you. A poor man. Still you give to that person. Deshe kale cha patre cha. So it will be the proper person, the proper place, and the proper time. And patre, he's worthy. He's helped you in some manners, or he surrendered to you. Cha tat danam satvikam smritam. It's done in very pure bhava. I give it. I know he will not return, or it will not come back. So that is satvika dana. The result of a satvika dana is heavy, very huge. You listen to Premanandji Maharaj, you listen to all these ones. One of the ways of removing karma, besides Kriya Yoga and all, is dana. Dana, yajna and all. That's one of the ways. When you give away not expecting anything, so much karma gets consumed, plus you get bhar ke. Whatever you've given, you'll get it fulfilled so much, 10, 20, 100 times. When you give it to a spiritual place like your guru or something, saying, Lord, may your work be helped, I'm giving you this, it is your zone, pure sattvic bhava. You will get 100 times of what you've given. If you've not observed, that is the quality of money, and that is the spiritual law of money itself. That's how it works. Any kind of wealth. How it comes? When you give, it multiplies. When you keep, when you hoard, it divides itself, it reduces. Fascinating, right? That's a spiritual law. Material law is you put it in the bank, you get the interest. But spiritual law is you give, you will get double, triple, 10 times the returns. So then Lord says, these are all truth, huh? Observe your life keenly. You might have by now, you have already by 40s, 50s, and people already know these laws. You know, there's so many people who are very observant. Swadhyaya, who do self-study, they know these laws. Then Lord says, Yattu pratyupakarartham phalamuddishya vapuna. Diyate cha pariklishtam tadhanam rajasamsmritam. Rajasic dana is what? You're expecting. Kids go to birthday party, no? Auntie, return gift? That is typical Rajas. मैंने गिफ्ट दिया था उसको, मैंने बहुत बड़ा गिफ्ट दिया, मुझे रिटर्न गिफ्ट दो. So this is pratyupakarartham. You're expecting it. For example, you'll go to somebody and say, ये आपके लिए गिफ्ट, hoping मुझे भी मेरा बर्थडे पे इससे भी अच्छा वो भी हमको गिफ्ट देगा. Mentally you're thinking, oh no, that वो मेड सर्वेंट के लिए है ना, तो उसके लिए सिर्फ 500 का साड़ी ठीक है. हाँ वो ना रिच पर्सन है, उसको 2000 की साड़ी. दिस इज ऑल रजसिक दानम. इसमें कर्म क्लियर नहीं होता है. It is just a normal karma. Cleansing of karma doesn't happen. So see, intention is more important than the action, Krishna says. Yeah, how pure man has to be to attain higher lokas. So you can imagine the beings in higher lokas, how pure they already are. Yattu pratyupakarartham phalam uddishya, expecting some phala, expectation uddishya, va punaha again, diyate cha pariklishtam, means klishta is trouble. Oh, dena hai na, 1,500 rupees ka hai. How can I give? You will find people. We ourselves also have gone through this. We have, when we were struggling for money and all that, we have been giving gifts and all. Oh, really? This much? Like that. Pariklishtam. Tat danam rajasam smritam. Rajasic. And rajasak phala kya hai? Dukkam. Rajasya in 14th chapter is said. So this kind, no karma gets cleansed. Sattvic phala is always sukha. Then adeshakale yadhanam apatrebhyascha diyate. Adeshakale. Typical example is bribing somebody to get some work done. Not the correct place. Kala is also wrong. Wrong time, under the table. Or calling him to a restaurant and giving you. Typical, it's very, see in Hindi movies. Yat danam apatrebhya. वो पात्र नहीं है वो दान मिलने का. भैया cha diyate, giving to that person. Asatkritam, mentally I have no respect for that person when I'm giving, because he's eating my money. I know it. I want my work done, so I'm giving it. Avajnatam, with anger in your mind. Hmm? Tat tamasam udahratam. That kind of giving is tamasic. So that causes delusion. Tamasa phalam is what? Muda. To become muda. So you are making yourself foolish. You're creating negative karma for the universe around, plus negative karma for that person also. You're destroying the environment. That is why giving bribe, things like that, is very, very wrong. This is how Lord explains yajna, dana, and tapa. And in the 18th chapter, Lord will say yajna, dana, tapa, you should not tyaja miti chapare. So I am telling matam mama, he'll also say. That is mine also, as well as these with wise people have mentioned, according to the karmic laws, you have to do. These are nitya karmas, which the British wiped out for us, which the Mughals wiped out. We have to do yajna, that is worship, dana, charity every day, and tapa. Purpose is struggling for God. So these are the most important things that Lord explains in the 17th chapter. Now then, Lord explains the most important topic. We all are very much aware of it. Our Guru has literally hammered this in everything, in his talks, in his lessons, in autobiography, in the God Talks with Us, in SCOC, everywhere he has hammered it. So, Om Tat Sat. What is Om Tat Sat? So, Bhagwan has explained what is Om Tat Sat here. It says, Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho. Om, Tat, and Sat. This nirdesha, or this explanation, or you can say these words which have symbolizing something. It's a nirdesha. It's an order, affirmative order. You can say nirdesha. Brahmanas trivida smritaha. This is how Brahma is described. Trivida smritaha. So Brahma is described as Om Tat Sat. So it is one Parabrahm who becomes Om as well as Tat as Sat. Smritaha. Brahmanastena Vedascha Yajnascha Vihita Pura. So here Pura is ancient. Pura here. Pura means city. Here the Pura has come, right? Pura. So it is ancient. So Lord says, since ancient times, Brahmana stena Vedascha, in the Vedas, and for the Brahmanas, and Yajna, or sacrifices, Vihita. Vihita means to come out, to take birth, or or explained to. So Om Tat Sat has been explained, or also explains what is a Brahmana, what is a Veda, and what is a Yajna. Or you can take it as a Brahmana, a Veda, and during Veda ceremony or doing performing yajnas has to use these three words. It's like calling Brahma, Om Tat Sat. Always, when you want to do something spiritual, you have to use these three methods. Then Lord explains in detail. He says, Tasmat, therefore, Om iti udahritya. Always say Om. Udahritya is speak it, say it. Udahritya, Yajna Dana Tapakriya. Whenever you want to do Yajna, Dana, or Tapas, say Om and do it. It purifies. It also resonates with the original Om, creating the Sattvic Bhava in your Yajna and Dana and Tapa. Such a beautiful explanation Lord Krishna gives. Pravartante vidhanokta satatam brahmavadinam. So Lord here says, Yajna Dana Tapa Kriya, you have to start with always Om. Pravartante, when you begin. Vidhana Okta. This is the correct Vidhana of doing Yajna Dana and Tapa. How? By doing Om. Satatam Brahmavadinam. This is what any being who has attained Brahma, Brahmavadis, have spoken as. So Om is so powerful. It brings about Sattvikata. It brings about the peace and power of any pure activity that is done. It magnifies it. What is it? So this is now proved in researches. Researchers are saying Om can cure cancer, Om can cure mental depression, Om can cure negativity, sadness, everything. So only chanting Om over and over and over and over can create a resonance with Sattva or the higher powers, causing the body mind to be. Then Lord says, so that powerful Om is. That's what Brahma is also saying, no? Vidhanoktam Satatam Brahmavadin. Brahmavadis have vouched for this. Not only Brahmavadis, today even modern researchers vouched for this. Then Lord says, Tadityanabhisandhaya phalam yajna tapakriyaha danakriyascha vividaha kriyante moksha kankshibhi. Now, Om magnifies the resonance of sattvicness in everything, Lord explained. And hence, when you do yajna tapakriya, you have to do. Now, what is tat used for? Tat is your kutastha. Now, what is kutastha looked upon as? That being or that part or that power which gives moksha. What is moksha? Freedom while being alive. Tat iti anabhisandhaya. If Lord says, phalam yajna tapakriyaha. When you do your yajna, dana and tapa, he explained already, yajna, dana, tapa has to be done, right? That's what explained. We've discussed that 70 chapter. When you do this yajna, dana, tapa, like for example, you're doing kriya, it's a yajna as well as it's a tapa. So when you do this, phala anabhisandhaya, not expecting any result, no kamna. I don't want money, gadi, bungalow, husband, wife, child, nothing you're asking. Health, wealth, nothing. You are just doing it as an offering. Kriya. Dana kriyas, even the dana kriyas, the vividaha, all this, kriyante moksha akankshibhi. If you're looking for moksha, if you're looking for freedom, when you do yajna dana, like you are a sannyasi already, or you're a totally detached being, okay, and you're doing your yajna dana, you're not asking God anything. So then that has to be worshipped. Oh, that is why Guruji tells us, observe, look into the Kutastha Chaitanya. He also advises Om technique. But he says the highest is, fastest way to get moksha liberation is to constantly keep your thoughts and mind at the Tat, power of Tat. So if you're a moksha kakshipi, you will do your yajna tapakriya for the Tat. That is what we do, right, in Kriya Yoga. Then Lord says, where do you use Sat? Lord says, Satbhave sadhu bhave cha sadityetyat prayujyate. Prashaste karmani tata sat shabda partha uchyate. So Lord says, what is Sat? Sat is eternity itself. It is completeness of this entire universe. Sadhu Bhava. Sadhu Bhava is what? We normally call sadhus. Sadhus are people who are monks and nuns. Very, very, like we call even a cow as sadhu. It's like so peaceful, so calm, so content. It's an udasin. It's always happy and cheerful. That's sadhu bhava. Satbhave sadhu bhava. So having that sadhu bhava means you have sat already in you. That kind of content, that kind of peace, that eternity you have within you. Infinity existing inside a Jivan Mukta saint is a Satbhava. Lord is explaining that as existing in humans. How Sat is helping the entire universe. It Vibhartya Vyaya Ishwara also. It is that Ishwara which takes care of even Om and Tat. It is a foundation on which everything is created. Right? So that Sat, how it manifests as that Sadhu Bhava. So Sadite Tat Prayujyate. So if you are looking at attaining that Jivan Mukta state, or you're already in that state, you are using the word Sat, or you are manifesting Tat Prayujyati. You are already manifesting that state in yourself. Prashaste karmani tata Sat Shabda Partha Yujyate. Also, Partha, when you do such auspicious activity, which are sadhu bhav, very, very spiritual activities, and you are in that state, you will be chanting that word Sat, 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 or it is resonating with the Sat Bhava, Sat's power. So the God is so pure. Prayujyate also means use it. So you can say it is happening inside, resonating, or you can use it in any kind of very peaceful and spiritual activities. Then yagne tapasi dane cha sthiti satiti cha uchyate karma chaiva tadartiyam. Oh. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes,
Jai Guru?
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Didi.
Yeah. I got a call. So it started showing. So I was wondering, it came. It went off. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Lord is here saying, next one, 27th shloka, he's saying, Yagne tapasi dane cha stitihi. Suppose your life is completely revolving on performing yajna, dana, and tapas, meaning typically a renunciant's life. This is okay. Maybe even a renunciant, grahastha renunciants also there. So Lord here says, suppose you are doing yajna, tapas, or dana, cha stitihi. You are completely established in such very auspicious activities. Sat iti cha uchyate. Sat is happening inside you naturally, and you can also say Sat and do it. This is a Sat karma. It's a Sat karma. That's why the word Sat karma. Okay. So then Lord says Sat karma. Eva tad artiyam. Tad artiyam means your whatever activity that you are doing is already established in Sat. It is already a sattvic act, extreme sattvic activity when you are established in this. Sat iti eva abhidhiyate, and your activity is also called as sattvic. So essentially, Lord is saying when you are a very high level siddha or a renunciant and you're constantly practicing yajna, dana, tapa in your mind, in your body, it's very purified already. Then you are not only resonating with Sat, each of your activity, your speech, and your yajna, dana, tapa, everything is sattvic in nature. Then Lord says, Ashraddhaya hutam dattam. Tapastaptam krutam chayat. Asidyat asidityuchyate partha nacha tat pretya no iha. So then Lord says, what is asat? So basically Sat is truth. It is Parabrahm himself. It's the highest existence of mankind. Like for example, whatever works Lahari Mahasaya does, Babaji does, Guruji does, they're all Sat. We might be also doing Sat related work, not Sattvic necessarily. This is the highest Sat, Parabrahma's activities being performed through the body. Like Bhagavan Krishna is explaining the Gita to Arjuna. So he is actually living in Sat Bhava, Sadhu Bhava, Sat Bhava. So Lord says, Ashraddhaya Hutam Dattam. Hutam is to do sacrifice. Dattam is to dana, to give. Tapaha. So suppose there's no faith at all, but still for the heck of it, you're doing sacrifice, dana, and tapa. Taptam kritam chayat. When you are taptam can be struggling to do it, or you're practicing this normal word saying, you're practicing without any shraddha, you're doing hutam, dattam, and tapaha. Yet asad iti uchyate. So when you don't believe that this is going to bring results, when you don't believe in your mind that God exists, when you have so many doubts that this is all not right, what am I doing? Is it really, really worth it? Whatever we do is asat, meaning it is not going to get results. So see Bhagwan's explanation of how everything is connected to the mind. Partha, nacha tat pretya na iha, he says. So the pretya is other world, okay, and iha is this world. So if your mind is so doubtful and without any Shraddha, then you will never get happiness in the other world as well as in this world. Lord says. Nacha ihaha. So this is the answer, typical answer to Lord's Arjuna's first question. How Shraddha should be, how the faith should be very strong whenever we do. So everything boils down to where the mind is. Where the mind is when we're doing yajna, dana, and tapa. See how important it is. Now there is no way. Guruji says one kriya can destroy so much karma. So we've done kriya and kriya and kriya and kriya. So now we know that whenever a kriya was sattvic, the mind was there, it was full of faith. There was no afalakankshi kriya because it's the afalakankshi yajna. No? That kind of kriyas bore fruits. It wiped out all our karmas and the wisdom came. But when the kriya was rajasic, thinking of oh that and this and all that, then it gave rajasic fruits. Meaning what? It kind of created some blocks and aches and pains. Some people say, no, I couldn't take the pain of the kriya. I was doing so much, so I reduced the numbers. I've met so many people. So why? Because the kriya was rajasic in nature. Otherwise, kriya has no, Lord says, no, it doesn't have any pratyavayona vidyate. It doesn't have any negative effects. Babaji says, do this one. So, Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatobhaya. So, it is pratyavayana vidya. It doesn't get any that is because it's a sattvic kriya. The mind is fully focused, fully calm, fully given to God. There's no expectations. It's sattvic. So, now we know when the kriya works and when it doesn't work. Similarly, we'll know what kind of dana works and what kind of dana doesn't work. We'll know what kind of, tapa works and what kind of tapa does not work. Asiditya. Then also when the Shraddha is so low, it is called Asad. Asadityuchyate Partha. Iti uchyate. It is called Asad and the result is not enduring. Partha. Nacha tat pretya naiha. Not in the other world or in this world also, the results are not going to come. So when it is Yajna Dana Tapa, when it is made, Rajasic or Tamasic. But perhaps I feel, okay, that I am added. Lord is not added. So, our Guru gives us so much leeway. He allows, even if it is Rajasic or Tamas, he accepts it. He accepts it. He says, you just do. That's why he says in the Gita, no, you just do. 48 years if you do, even without thinking anything proper, you're doubting or whatever it is, it will work because it's mathematical. So Guruji has given us so much stretch bandwidth. Okay, but having said that, we should not take that leeway. We should do all the yajna dana tapas in a very sattvic mode. That is basically sattva, rajas, tamas of yajna, dana and tapas, the entire 17th chapter. And Arjuna's question. So Arjuna's question got answered at the end, which is there has to be faith. So what if you do it without faith, with doubts and stress and not aware of what you're doing rightly, then the results, even if you do it vidhanoktam according to the Shastric injunction, then the results are not there. Now we can relate all this to all the efforts of the yajnas, danas, kriyas, and everything that we perform. It all boils down to the mind, where the mind is, how it thinks, what kinds of thoughts it thinks, and these activities are happening. So we can't fight with God. Look, I did 90 years kriya, but I did not progress. Why it is happening? Because God is not partial. It is happening according to the laws of the Prakriti. Prakritik niyama, sattva, rajas, tamas, is happening. So with that, let us renew our vows to our Guru. Take a moment of silence and then we can close for the day and we can request our Gauriji to chant the whole 28 shlokas. Before that, let's visualize Gurudeva and the Kutastha. Bowing down. Clasp Guru's feet. Gurudev. Om Gurunarayaneti Samarpayam Jai Guru to everyone. Gauriji, I request you now to please chant this for us so that we can finish the chanting.